Hey everybody, peace and blessings to you. Good morning, good day, hello, hello, hello. I hope all is well. I hope that this video is meeting you well. And in case you are clicking on my video for the first time, let me just introduce myself. I am Letitia. I am a 42-year-old millennial mom of 5 children, a homeschooling, home managing mom. I'm an INFJ empath, an intuitive light worker, New Earth messenger, New Earth beacon. And in case you're wondering what I mean by that when I say New Earth messenger, New Earth beacon, I'm just basically saying that I see myself as a part of the New Earth frequency. I see myself as someone holding the light and presenting a message, bringing a message and holding the light towards our future. And in case you're wondering what I mean when I say a New Earth beacon, New Earth messenger, I see myself as a part of the New Earth frequency. I'm holding the vision for the future. I'm holding the light, in the darkness, trying to be a guide and a messenger, helping people to find their way through this dark season that we're in, through this transition that we are experiencing and going through, and getting out to the other side, getting out towards the future, towards the new earth. What I believe I believe that we are in a birthing process, and I believe that we are birthing a new earth where the generations, the millennials and the Gen Zs and the younger generations are starting to step up and take our place in more leadership roles, take our place as caretakers of the earth and the leaders of the earth, and working in harmony with the planet, working in harmony with each other, working with love as our core, with empathy, with kindness, with compassion, with the best parts of being alive and being human as our center, as our guide, and taking us towards a better future, living in a better world. So coming to a new vision of the world. And my channel is Letitia Learns Life, and what that is about is that it is me showing you my authentic, raw, imperfect self. I have a lot to learn. I realize that even though I've been here for 42 years and I do have a lot of experience and know a lot of things, I feel as though what I know is so minuscule compared to what there is to know. What I understand is so minuscule compared to what there is to understand. And as an INFJ empath, I am a rare personality type, and my MBTI, myers-briggs type indicator personality. The INFJ is the intuitive, introvert, intuitive, or intuitive, introvert. I always mix those up. Introvert, intuitive, introverted, intuitive, judging, feeling personality. And it is a rare personality type. And we see the world so different. And as far as I have noticed in terms of INFJ's online presence, is that the videos that I've noticed about INFJs is always INFJ videos where INFJs basically are trying to teach about what it's like to be an INFJ, what it is, to explain the INFJ personality and teach INFJs, what it is to be an INFJ. That's what I've noticed about INFJ videos. But my videos, on the other hand, is such a broad range of, it's a little like hodgepodge mix match, soup. I don't know, like a whatever the word is we're looking for here, like a combination of various things, because I have so many interests and so many. As an INFJ, we tend to like connect dots and see patterns, and we see connections in things. So as far as I'm concerned, it's all just a puzzle. We're all just working on the same puzzle, just different parts, so we always feel like our piece is like this individual piece, and we think that this is the whole, whereas it's just a piece. And I just think that politics and culture and learn about the planet, like learning about the natural world, learning about the spiritual world, learning about humanity and psychology and history and geography and all these things You know, all these things are a part of the same story, which is the creation of life, which is the creation of our world, shaping our inner world and our own personal world, which is not the same thing as the big wide world. And all our little teeny little worlds make up this big world. And it isn't that we can control everything. It isn't that we could just decide that we want our world to be a certain way, our personal world to be a certain way, and that's just the way it's going to be. It is a series of decisions, it's a series of choices and actions we take, a little step at a time, piece at a time, a stroke at a time, you know, one little stroke at a time, in painting that canvas and creating that world, one action, one decision at a time, one day at a time. And this video here, this recording is a part of a series that I am doing this summer called Today, simply named Today. And the intention behind today is to basically talk about what is being talked about during that day. You know, what are the things that have caught my attention? What have I taken in? What have I learned? What have I discovered? You know, what is being talked about today? I do pay a lot of attention, a lot of attention right now. I'm paying a lot of attention to, you know, politics and what's going on in the world, how our world is being shaped. I'm paying attention to what the media is putting out there. And I am paying attention to what people are saying online and I'm paying attention to the things that interest me, the videos that call my name, the things that I click on that inspire me or teach me or, you know, expand my thinking in some way. So in this edition of today, this is the 12th episode of today that I've done. I've started to do today videos for the month of July. I don't know what they're going to shape out to be in August, because August is my birthday month and the August energy for me might be a little bit different to the July energy. And I don't know what the energy is going to be like in August. Like I've said in previous videos, I anticipated July to look a little bit different. The July energy, this July energy is so much different than I thought or anticipated it would be. You know, and I wasn't like 100% anticipating anything, because I am in more of an observation mode right now. I am not trying to predict anything. I do not know. I'm up for surprises. I'm expecting to be surprised. I approach each day with wonder and curiosity of what does today have for me? Is something, what's going to happen today? What am I going to learn today? What are we going to talk about today? You know, what am I going to discover today? And, you know, when we first like started this year, a lot of these things were worrisome and triggering. And even though a lot of stuff, a lot of real bad shit still is, you know, taking place, a lot of horrible shit is still taking place, I think that we have come to the point where the energy has shifted. The energy has shifted, and we are where we people like me and people who are connected with intuition, their intuition and their knowing, we are where people like me knew we were always going to end up, that this time was going to come. I had no idea what it was going to look like, but I knew this time was going to come. And I find it very fascinating to watch. I find it intriguing to watch. So in this episode, we're going to talk about, I want to talk about South Park a little bit. I want to talk about Hogan, who died at 71 apparently from cardiac arrest. And I want to talk about some of the things that I have collected. This is how I phrase it, that I've collected, meaning I screenshot it so I remember this particular headline, this particular story, so that I could talk about it. And I had a few thoughts about some things too that I wanted to share. So hopefully I'll get that in. But that's what I'm going to be talking about in this episode of today. So usually another thing that I do in this series I've been doing is sharing my numbers. I've been sharing my weight loss because I'm on a quest number 2. I have three main quests for 2025, and I say in every video, quest 1 is basically inner peace and keeping my intuition and discernment and my inner light strong. So making sure that my core is well lit and fortified and strong. I'm in inner peace, inner calm, inner knowing, balance and harmony within myself. Quest 2 is weight loss, body health. And I started out the journey at 222, and today the scale said 210. So I'm averaging 29, 210, 209, 210, because it was 209 yesterday, but I felt like I ate a few high calorie things yesterday, so that might be the reason why it's 210 this morning. Quest number 3, YouTube growth. Raising my watch hours. One, I didn't really talk about that, but seeing my watch hours grow, the numbers grow, as well as my subscribers. And the last time I shared it was 63, and it's still 63. But I'm putting in the work, I'm doing my stories, I'm doing my videos, I'm editing, I'm putting in the work, and we'll see where this journey takes me. A lot of the times when I make this video, I do a video outside in the patio to start, and then I head into the serenity room to finish the video. But even though I did spend some time in my patio this morning, I spent it with my husband. I drank my chia seeds drink. I didn't have breakfast yet. And I got to take in the early morning sounds, the birds, and the just quietness and peacefulness of the morning, because it's just absolutely, absolutely lovely when, we go outside early in the morning, you can hear the birds, and it has a nice little cool breeze, and it's just a peaceful place to be early in the morning. So I'm really thankful for that. And now I'm going to talk about some. So now I'm going to flip my phone. I'm going to flip this phone towards my laptop, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I have screenshot as well. I'm going to talk about South Park a little bit and share with you why I'm talking about South Park. First of all, I watched South Park for the first time, an episode of South Park. This is season 27, I think I saw. Season 27 for South Park. This is the first episode of South Park I've ever watched. And the reason that I've chosen to watch this episode is because I heard a lot of people say, go watch it, and how they were making fun of certain people that I do not appreciate. So I was curious about it. I was like, well, okay, I'm curious. This might be the one and only last thing that I watch with Paramount, because at the moment I do not. It is my intention to be done with Paramount. But the thing is that my husband said, leave it to you to want to boycott the one channel that we don't have to pay for. And the reason that we don't have to pay for it is because we got it free with our Walmart delivery, subscription. I don't know what you call it, but we order food with Walmart. We pay for a subscription or a subscription. We order food with Walmart, and we get free. We get the food delivered. So we've been doing that for a while, because we find that it's easier to do it that way, because then you don't buy extra. You just are very, very intentional with your groceries. The only thing is that our Walmart doesn't really deliver fruits and vegetables, so we don't really get fruits and vegetables, like fresh fruits and vegetables from ordering with Walmart online. And our Walmart is kind of crappy. It doesn't have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you will get from other Walmarts it doesn't have, but it provides basic foods. It is good for basic food orders, but if you gotta go get like fruits and vegetables and little extra things, you have to be intentional, and you have to go to the store. But we've chosen to do it that way. We've chosen to have it delivered because we think that would be better. Whereas we save money on gas, and we save money on, all the little extra things that them has got in front of your eyes for you to pick up when you go to the store. An extra snack that you saw, or extra thing that you didn't plan to buy. So you kind of stick to the plan. When you do that, you stick to the basics, stick to the plan. So that is why we had made the decision to order to subscribe to the Walmart home delivery thing, right? I don't know what they call it. And with that, we got Paramount for free. So it's unfortunate that Paramount had to piss me off in this kind of way. But Paramount had three strikes as far as I'm concerned. But Paramount had 3 strikes as far as I'm concerned. Strike 1 was settling that lawsuit that they didn't have to settle. And they did that. They threw the people under the bus, and they did that for their own benefit because they wanted the Trump administration to approve their merger, their $1 billion merger that they were trying to do. Right, which I'm going to tell you more about in a more accurate manner when they flip the phone, when they flip the screen. So they settled the lawsuit. They settled, I think it was, I don't want to say incorrect numbers, I think it was 16 million or something with the Trump regime. That's one. And then there was number two, where I was minding my own business, watching an episode of Elsbeth, which is not that great. It's okay, semi-entertaining. It's not a bad show, but it ain't that special. So I was watching an episode of Elsbeth, and then I see Christine Nome and a bunch of images of Latino men with tattoos and bald heads looking dangerous and scary. And then she going yap, 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 to scare people. To scare people into seeing what they're doing, you know, how they're treating people and locking up people, judging people because of their heritage, because of how they look, and locking up people and sending them off places and locking them up in concentration camps and putting on all kind of costumes and being an absolute biatch, terrible person, awful woman. She goes, yap, yap, yap. I don't know what she said. I got a gist of what she was saying, but I didn't listen. I muted. And then I continued to watch Elsbeth and decided I would never watch Paramount again. I don't want them to put that shit in front of my, and I could, you know, you can't even fast forward through the ad or anything. I don't want them to put that shit in front of my eyes again. So that was strike two. Strike three was canceling Stephen Colbert, you know, and being very obvious with the obedience in advance, according to how Timothy Snyder would say it. These corporations, these networks and these corporations are obeying in advance because of their bottom line, their money. They think that would be beneficial to them in the long run. But whereas there's 70 people out and 70 country out, and the worst thing is it's so short-sighted because it's like these people have no damn education. I have a little bit of teeny education, you know. I know stuff. I don't know stuff in like the way intellectuals know stuff, but I know enough stuff to know that this is a bad idea, because the more power you give people like that and regimes like this, the stronger it becomes. The more stronger it becomes, it will come for you. It will come for you. It will destroy your business. It will destroy your bottom line. It will destroy your country that you're operating in, the people that you're selling to. Because, you know, your stuff is meant to be consumed by the people. But if the people are turned into slaves instead of consumers, instead of customers, they become slaves, and people struggling can't afford to pay for streaming, can't afford to pay for the extra, can't afford to go watch your movies, can't afford to eat the fun foods, you know, or eat out or do fun stuff and enjoy life and consume in a profitable way for these corporations, these places, then what's the point? What's the point if they have it all? What's the point if they do what they're trying to do and just take it all? Then who are you selling to? How are these businesses and these companies and these corporations going to make profit then? It becomes pointless. You know, I watched this video that was shared yesterday by, let me just go look for it so I get my information right. Yeah, so I saw this video that was shared by Hawk Podcasts, where he did a duet with somebody that was talking. What he has at the top is "White collar jobs are done," and yeah, that's the title. "White collar jobs are done." And in this, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. People are really good at talking. There's a lot of people that are really good at speaking. In this, he said, despite, let me see if I could get these words. All right, so let me play it and see if you could hear it.
Because like Monopoly and the entire point of the game, when you own everything, you own nothing. The game literally cannot have it all, because there is the money come. How do people buy things if robots do the jobs? As much as a billionaire's greed is insatiable, they quite literally cannot have it all, because like Monopoly and the entire point of the game, when you own everything,
You own nothing.
the game is over. Nothing has value. Bullets firing 30% dead.
So you hear that? When you own any, as greedy as these freaking people are, how is this gonna work? How is this gonna work? Are they gonna just live in a world where they have all this stuff and people just suffer and die around them? Like, how is anything gonna happen? This world will literally just die like that. This world will come to an end. The world that they live in will come to an end. I can't believe how greedy these people could be. I just can't believe that these kind of people exist in the world. When you own everything, you own nothing. This is not sustainable. It won't work. I don't even know why they think it would. But I'm going to flip the phone now, and you will see the other things that I wanted to talk about. We will show you. We will talk about some things. Thank you for watching. So just before I flip the phone, I just want to say one more thing. I want to say that they probably think it would, because they think that people will willingly be slaves. They think that they can. There's a possibility that the reason that these people think it can work is, first of all, ego, and they just underestimate the people. They underestimate the people's desire to be free, the people's desire to live the life that they want and to thrive. You know, they underestimate these generations that are coming up, and that these generations don't want to be factory workers. Not that we could be anyway, because they're going to do automation. One of the interesting things about this video that I just played a little bit of the sound from is the whole video is worth watching. So I'm going to share that in the description. It talks about the future and the future and the future with AI, and how they're gonna have robots doing all the like mindless jobs, right? They're gonna have automation and AI and have these robots and computers and technology do a lot of jobs that humans don't have to do. And this video was talking about why exactly can the healthcare be a right? Why can't we have basic our basic needs met, basic income, I forgot what he said, but basically provide the things that humans need to survive and to live, because there's a lot of jobs that will be eliminated, and that only turns into fear when we are looking at it from an old mindset, old lens, when we are looking at it from the lens of, in order to be a valuable human, you have to work hard. And by working hard, you have to work hard for the machine to provide for your family. And that makes you a good provider for your family. And that makes you a good human, a worthwhile human, right? A non-useless eater because you're a hard worker, right? But these new generations that are coming up, and the mindset that is shifting here is that we realize that there's more to life than just being a good worker bee. There's more. There's enjoying the flowers. There is living and being a life. Life is so freaking short. I mean, it's so short. Like, you blink twice and you are older. Another thing that I watched this last night was Malcolm Jamal Warner's last video. I saw that on my feed and I watched it. His last video, he had a little flower in his hair, and he was talking about telling people, it was a very encouraging message, and about smiling and how to encourage others to smile. It was such a good vibes, positive message. And this man is 54 years old. He just started his life, man. He was just going to it. He had more time to live. He had the right to more time. And just by some sort of freak accident, or however this drowning occurred, just by something beyond his control, he lost his life and he had his time cut short. And then you got guys like Rupert Murdoch living to 94 and Donald Trump living to 80. What the fuck with that? The most toxic human beings, they get to live long. And the people who are trying to put love and light and positivity and good energy and good vibes and generosity and kindness and consideration of other people, those are the people whose lives get cut short. Those are the people whose time, who does not get their time. I remember a couple years back, I don't even know how many years ago this was, but I remember, I forgot his name. Okay, so I can't remember his name, so I had to go and I had to type in, and it did give me what I want. I typed in actor who died of motorcycle accident. It was two actors that I remember recently that died of motorcycle accidents. Two actors, Chance Per Domo, and he was like 27 for free. He was 27, and Treat Williams was 71. Two actors, Chance Perdomo and Treat Williams, recently died in motorcycle accidents. Perdomo, known for his roles in Gen V and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, was 27. Williams, famous for Everwood and Here, was 71. And I remember the news of both, but the one with Treat Williams was like it stand out even more because the last video that he posted online was just this calm, peaceful video of him mowing his lawn because I think he has a farm in Vermont, and he was living his best life, 71, living his best life on his farm in Vermont. And he was mowing his lawn, and he recorded himself on the lawnmower, so we got to see, we got to see it from the perspective of the front piece of the lawnmower, the driving lawnmower, and we got to see the lawn, right? And that was his last video. You never freaking know when is your last day on this earth. And we deserve to thrive. We deserve to live. We deserve to stop and smell the roses and stop being a part of a machine to working for people that don't give a fuck about us, that threw us under the bus when it was necessary. These corporations have thrown us under the fucking bus. Every single one. The first one to capitulate was ABC News, and then more followed with these lawsuits. These lawsuits are bribes. These lawsuits are establishing dominance and control and saying, I am in control, I'm your master now, you're my bitch. And they bowed. They bend the knee and they bowed. These freaking corporations that don't give a shit about their people, because they bow for their bottom line, and people are going to die and suffer because they with all their power and money couldn't stand up for us, couldn't stand up for the people. So the people got to stand up for themselves. Like I said, no one is coming to save us. We are the heroes. We are the one. We're the savior. It is us. And I have no idea what that means. I don't know how to be a savior. I just know how to live, to breathe, to take care of myself, to do my best, to keep the faith, to keep working as best as I can, to keep figuring out how to navigate. That is what this whole channel is about. Verbal processing, figuring out how to navigate specifically as an INFJ, empath, light worker, intuitive, me, the millennial woman that I am, still learning, still in the middle of my learning process and my training. I haven't been here long enough, and I haven't experienced enough or learned enough to be fully in the understanding and the knowledge of how to handle this situation. I mean, this thing that we're going through is new for all of us. But some of us have learned a lot and seen a lot more. And some of us are now getting to know ourselves. That would be me. Now becoming. Like I said, I'm in my season of becoming. My butterfly season. So now let me flip this phone before this video gets too long. Thank you for watching so far. If you are not a subscriber, I would appreciate it if you click that subscribe button. Like, share, comment, and help me with my algorithm. Help me get this channel to grow. I don't mind this channel growing slowly, because as an INFJ empath, I don't really want. It's like I want to do this, but at the same time, and I want to succeed at this because I think I would be very good at it. But at the same time, I don't know if I want too much energy coming my way before I'm ready. So that's why it's okay. It's okay. I allow myself to do this at my own pace. I allow myself to grow one step at a time, one day at a time, and not trying to rush it. All right, I'm going to flip the screen now. All right, so that's the page that I just read from. And I love using the search engine to find out the things that I want to find out. And what I typed was actor died in motorcycle accident, and it gave me the answers that I was looking for. So I really appreciate that, because those are the two motorcycle accidents that I remember that happened in recent years. So what I want to do is talk about South Park. I had never watched South Park a day in my life. This was my first time watching South Park. I watched it this morning. It was season 27. It was the first episode, and the episode is called Sermon on the Mount. So in case you don't know what South Park is an American animated sitcom created by Trey Parker and Matt Stone and developed by Brian Graden for Comedy Central. The series, which has generated notoriety for its profanity and dark, surreal humor, which would explain why I never watched it, because that's not my type of humor, revolves around the misadventures of four young boys in the fictional Colorado town of South Park. Stan Marsh, Kyle Broflovsky, Eric Cartman, and Kenny McCormick. Here's a breakdown of key aspects of the show. Oh, that's a big breakdown. Okay, characters and setting. The main characters live in South Park, Colorado. The town has various recurring characters and significant locations. Humor and satire. The show is known for satirical comedy on current events, social issues, and pop culture, employing sharp, often controversial humor. It is praised for its intelligence and commentary, according to IMDb. Production and animation. South Park originated from two animated shorts and features a distinct, crude cutout animation style created using computers. Episodes are typically produced rapidly to address current events. Parker and Stone are heavily involved in the writing, directing, and voice acting. Controversies. South Park has faced controversy due to the depiction of sensitive topics and portrayal of religion, following an equal opportunity offender philosophy. Controversies have involved depictions of religious figures and social issues, leading to censorship and strong reactions from various groups, according to Wikipedia. Reception and accolades. The show has received critically acclaim and is considered one of the greatest television shows. It has won numerous awards, including Primetime Emmy Awards and a Peabody Award. A successful film, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, was released in 1999. Streaming and current status. As of July 21st, 2025, South Park has an exclusive streaming agreement with Paramount Plus for 5 years, according to the Los Angeles Times. The agreement includes productions of 10 episodes annually. The 27th season premiered on July 23rd, 2025. For more details, you can visit Wikipedia page. So that's that. That's South Park, for anybody that didn't know what South Park is. I never watched South Park. Like I said, I just watched that episode. That was my first time watching any episode of South Park, but I've seen little clips. I get the vibes. I get the gist of what South Park is all about. So the episode I'm referring to, South Park, Sermon on the Mount. That's what I typed into the search. Yes, there's a recent South Park episode titled Sermon on the Mount with an apostrophe, which aired on July 23rd, 2025. This episode, the first of the 27th season, features Jesus returning to South Park and delivering a sermon on a mountain-shaped mound. However, the sermon's message isn't a traditional one of faith and guidance, but rather an urgent plea for the townspeople to settle the lawsuit with former President Trump. Jesus admits he's there because of an agreement related to the lawsuit involving Paramount. He warns the residents that defying Trump, who is depicted as having the power to sue and bribe, will lead them to being canceled like Stephen Colbert. Therefore, the Sermon on the Mount in South Park is a satirical commentary on the political climate and the power of lawsuits in the entertainment industry, using the familiar religious motif of the Sermon on the Mount for comedic effect. So then they had questions underneath, and I had already started clicking these questions. So, what lawsuit and Paramount agreement brought Jesus back to South Park? In the South Park episode, Sermon on the Mount, Jesus reveals his presence in the school is due to a lawsuit and an agreement with Paramount. Here's the background behind the statement. Trump's lawsuit against Paramount. Former President Trump had sued Paramount, the parent company of Comedy Central, where South Park airs, and CBS, for allegedly editing a 60 Minutes interview with former Vice President Kamala Harris in a misleading way. And you know what's so funny about that part? The irony of that. When we know for a fact, anybody has been paying attention know for a fact that Fox News has chopped up interviews that they had with Trump for that same reason. So as people would say, usually this man, when he accuses people of things, he is either projecting something that he has done or is going to do. I heard a creator say it that way yesterday. It's something that he has done or he is going to do or he knows is done for him. So he has no shame. He's a shameless motherfucker, and the hypocrisy and the irony is just mind blowing. But anyway, that's why he sued. And anybody with common sense know that Paramount would have won. That could have even got thrown out because that's a ridiculous suit. But these people are settling because basically they're just paying him off. They're just paying off his bribes. Paramount settlement and the show's commentary. Paramount recently settled a lawsuit, reportedly for $16 million. The timing of this settlement followed the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's Late Show, who had been critical of the settlement, suggested a potential connection between Trump's lawsuit, the settlement, and Paramount's decision regarding its programming and talent. The episode satirizes the situation, suggesting that Paramount bowed to Trump's pressure and that even Jesus is forced to comply due to the company's agreement with the former president following the lawsuit. The next question that I click on. What were the terms of the settlement between Trump and Paramount? In a summary from the terms of the settlement between Donald Trump and Paramount Global regarding the CBS 60 Minutes interview with then Vice President Kamala Harris. Payment. Paramount agreed to pay $60 million as a part of the settlement. The funds were allocated to Trump's future presidential library and associated legal fees. No apology. The settlement explicitly stated that Paramount would not issue an apology for editing the interview. This stance was taken to uphold journalistic integrity and First Amendment rights. Release of interview transcripts. As a part of the agreement, 60 Minutes will release transcripts of interviews with eligible U.S. presidential candidates after the interviews air, subject to redactions for legal or national security concerns. Dismissal of lawsuit. Trump committed to dropping his claims and not suing over a separate 60 Minutes segment broadcast in May, which also scrutinized Trump's actions, according to the Los Angeles Times. Context. The settlement comes amidst Paramount's efforts to finalize a merger with Skydance Media, which required approval from the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. The Federal Communications Commission, FCC. Critics have suggested that the settlement was influenced by a desire to appease Trump and ensure the merger's approval, according to CBC. However, both Paramount and the FCC have stated the settlement was unrelated to the merger review. Right. Sure, we believe you guys. Additional notes. The lawsuit originated from Trump's claim that a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris was deceptively edited to make her appear more coherent. Imagine that. What an asshole. What a dumb MF. A dumb MF that people are capitulating to and empowering. The reason that this dumb MF has so much power is because these corporations and these money people, the people in power, the people with the power in this world, gave it to him. You know, it's we the people. Most of us aren't. Most of us, the majority of the people are not. And this is where in the new earth, we are no longer going to give these, we can no longer give these corporations and these money people so much power. And I don't know how we could take the power away from them, honestly, but it would have to be, we, the people, have to shift the way of the world. We have to shift the frequency. We have to shift the way the world thinks and does things. That's not going to be easy because they created a system. That's why the system is crumbling, because they created a system so good. I don't know what the word is. Good is not the right word, but so strong. A system so, it was built over generations. A system so tight in, and you know, in the brainwashing and in what we were taught and the mindsets that we had and the way of the world. You know, they built such a system that a lot of people didn't know that they were in that system. You know, the matrix. We didn't know we were in the matrix. They say ignorance is bliss. You know, but now the matrix is crumbling. It can no longer sustain our frequency. It can no longer sustain the new world. So it is crumbling and falling, and it can no longer stand. So now we have to build a new world. So let me just switch over here because I don't want this video to go on too long, you know, but you can dig a little deeper into this information. I saw this article. I started to read this article where these are the creators of South Park, and it has, we're terribly sorry. South Park creators respond with humor to the White House anger over naked Donald Trump. Over naked Donald Trump, because that's kind of like what the episode had. It had a naked Donald Trump with his tiny little penis, and him in bed with Satan. Yeah. So I asked this question: how did Trump react to the recent South Park episode? The White House responded to the recent South Park episode, which heavily satirized Donald Trump by calling it fourth-rate and uninspired. They also stated that the show hasn't been relevant for 20 years and is only seeking attention with uninspired ideas. Trump himself is reportedly seething over the episode's depiction of him as a naked, pompous bully, according to a report from Deadline. Specifically, the episode titled Sermon on the Mount included the following depiction of Trump. The episode depicted Trump as a naked, pompous, and sexually suggestive character. Trump and Satan. The episode portrayed a scene where Trump tries to proposition Satan, who rejects him. AIPSA. A mocking AI-generated public service announcement was included, featuring a nude Trump. Paramount Skydance merger. The episode also satirized the ongoing merger between Paramount and Skydance Media, which needs approval from the Trump-influenced FCC. So, the White House response also criticized the show's creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and accused them of lacking original content. This response is part of a larger pattern of the White House attacking media outlets and figures critical of the president. So here's the ground news notification that came on my phone. I didn't actually click into the app. This is what, when I click on the notification, this is the summary that will come up. The ground news summary. Paramount Skydance merger approved by FCC, clearing way for $8 billion deal close. And this is how the ground news notification often looks. 40% reported by the left, 6% reported by the right, 54% reported by center-leading media, according to Ground News. So here's the summary. Regulators on Thursday greenlit the transaction enabling the $8 billion merger between Paramount Paramount Global, and Skydance Media to close. Earlier this month, Paramount agreed to pay a $16 million settlement, prompted by the Trump administration's actions that threatened to block the deal as regulatory scrutiny and legal battles intensified. Skydance pledged to eliminate all DEI initiatives and to hire an ombudsman. I don't know what that word means. An ombudsman, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr adding significant changes for CBS News. Leadership roles will shift, with David Ellison set to become CEO and Jeff Shell as president expected within days or weeks. The merger will unite Paramount Pictures, CBS, 28 TV stations, Paramount Plus, and cable channels under Skydance, transforming the U.S. media landscape. So they say that what they did in the recent day, and you know what the actions that they've taken to appease Donald Trump has nothing to do with wanting to receive his approval for this merger. And we, the dumb people, are supposed to believe that. We, the dumb people, are supposed to believe that. All right, so here's the other stuff that I want to talk about. I'm going to try my best to not have this video be too long. But Hogan died. Hogan has reportedly died at the age of 71. Paramedics were dispatched to the wrestling legend's Clearwater, Florida home early Thursday morning, with operators stating that it was regarding a cardiac arrest, according to TMZ. So there you go. Hogan dies at 71, and he left a shitty legacy behind. You know, I used to really like Hogan when I was young. I didn't know nothing about the man. I just liked his character. He seemed like a fun wrestler. I never used to watch wrestling, but I did enjoy him. And he is the one that attracted me to sometimes wanting to watch, being interested in wrestling even a tiny little bit. I liked him in movies, and I thought he seemed cool and seemed fun. And now the last thing that you're going to remember this guy is him being a Trump supporter and speaking along with Dr. Phil and others at that shitty convention that was like some Nazi-like convention that they had during campaigning time, tearing his shirt like a fool. Stupid. He left a stupid legacy behind. I found this to be interesting. France to recognize the state of Palestine. French President Macron says France will officially recognize the state of Palestine, true to its historic commitment to a just and lasting peace in the Middle East. French President Emmanuel Macron announces on Thursday, "I will make the solemn announcement at the United Nations General Assembly in September," Macron said in a statement. Another thing with Macron was in the news. I thought it would be here because I remember screenshotting it. But another thing about Macron is that they are suing Candace Owens for defamation. And that is very, very interesting. So Macron, the French president, is suing Candace Owens for defamation. And I think that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. You could talk about so many things. There's so much things to learn. How to get all this information in less than an hour is tricky. But there's so much things to learn and so much things that are always happening. And I appreciate you watching my videos and learning with me as we try to stay informed and understand things a lot better and connect the dots, because that's what INFJs do. So spread love, peace, and blessings to you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching.